And good evening and welcome to another edition of The Way I See It. And it's great to be here this evening. Those of you first time watchers to the show, my name is Ralph Williams, and we're here every Friday night at 7 p.m. The reason we're here tonight for The Way I See It is for our regular broadcast. And you can comment in the comments section here on The Way I See It. Right here it says post a comment, and you can post your comments here, and I will read them off. All right, we're going to start off with our bonehead move tonight. Two security guards at two different locations last night, or well, this has happened this week. There are my boneheads of the night, and the reason they are is because at Ramsey Elementary, whoever the security guard is there out in Gateway School District decided to let some guy into the school, and when he got into the school to use the bathroom, this guy went ahead and went into the girls' bathroom and started filming 10-year-old girls in the girls' bathroom. All right. So that happened. Then another security guard at Pitt let somebody in the dormitory building. Okay. So what had happened there is that guard or that person decided to start going around in the building and harassing the women that live in the building. So two security guards tonight are my bonehead moves of the night here tonight that have happened recently. And we do that here every Friday night, the bonehead. We also do something to think about. We talk about different topics of the night, different things I want to talk about in my life story for the week. I have a really good life, encouraging life story for this week. And that is this. I was downtown on Wednesday. I haven't been physically downtown. I mean, I'm talking actually got out of a vehicle, got off the bus, walked down. Andrew is commenting, boneheaded doesn't begin to describe it. But anyway, I was downtown, and it just so happens that speaking of Andrew, he helped me out a little bit. Load after the meeting was over, load my wheelchair into my Jeep. But here was the best thing of them all. I come out of my transit council meeting, which those of you who don't know, I am the president of the Allegheny County Transit Council here in the Pittsburgh area. And it turns out that I was coming out of the building, and my fiance and Andrew were walking with me because Andrew had agreed to help me load my wheelchair into my Jeep. Well, I'm coming across the crosswalk, and this gentleman out of nowhere, nice gentleman, just comes up and he says, "Can I push you to your vehicle?" and does so. And I was very impressed with that because I don't get that too often. I get people who will help my fiance load my wheelchair, but I never get someone to offer to push me to my vehicle. And I thought that was very nice of that man to do that because a lot of times people don't do anything like that for handicapped people. But it turns out that this guy did this, and that's pretty much my life story this week. I also, on Tuesday, I was over at my doctor's appointment over in East Liberty, and the city really needs to, and I call them a lot on this. They really need to get these potholes straightened out. And I know they've had warm weather at times. I know you have to call the mayor's hotline to get something done with that, and I do that often, and I do it a lot. What I can't figure out is that all of the potholes in East Liberty are just terrible, and it's hard to drive around there. It's almost like you're four wheeling in the woods somewhere. The way the roads are with the potholes, and they're not just small potholes. I'm talking they're big craters, and some of the ones that they've patched have already been dissolved. I mean, the asphalt has just totally dissolved itself. So what I'm saying to you tonight is that I think that we need to start calling in more to the mayor's office, burning up the phone down there and getting some of these potholes fixed, because I got to tell you what, there's going to be a lot of auto mechanic shops making some money this year with front end alignments and tires and axles and shocks and broken brakes and whatever falls off of your wheel whenever you hit a major big pothole that could cause a major problem. And things like that do happen. So that's my life story this week. I had a pretty decent week. Nothing really negative to talk about. I was out and about a little bit. It rained a little bit here and there, but that was it. Spring is here supposedly, but we're getting winter weather. So it's not too bad this week. But the way I see things today is we have a lot of different topics we're going to talk about. I worked tonight very diligently this afternoon to try to get somebody on here to talk about the Port Authority and the union standoff thing with the shots. Now, I spoke to Ross Nicotero on the phone today, the president of ATU. He's coming on next Friday at 7 o'clock here on YouTube on The Way I See It. He will be here. We will talk about this situation if it continues, because this is an ongoing problem. And starting Sunday, the free fares go away again. But my question to the Port Authority is, are they going to continue to have these free fares and have to eat this some more? Okay. Both sides are wrong. I'm not going to deny it. I have to stay neutral. I can't take a side. But I will say this, okay? And the basic fact is that this is the whole situation in a nutshell. And the situation is this, okay? Port Authority has created a mess with this shot thing. It's going through Richie Fitzgerald, okay? I had a nice little conversation with Ross Nicotero today, and he told me the whole story. He said it's going through Richie Fitzgerald, all right, our county executive. It's him that's doing all this. The problem that I have with this is if Port Authority is going to set their own policy, they need to communicate better with the union. And the union needs to communicate better with the Port Authority. And they need to work together because the common problem denominator here is the riders. The riders, the riders, the riders. Why are we not thinking about the riders? Okay. Andrew writes, I should have spoken. I just done a woulda, shoulda. And then Andrew also says, this thing is a mess and Fitz is a puke. Yeah, of course. All right. Richie Fitzgerald, I've known him for a long time. And he and I had it out years ago in regards to the drink tax, in regards to some other things. When it came down to Dan Honorado, I was one of the people who kind of told him how it was. Went, and spoke in front of county council years ago, things like that. On this program here, I normally speak what I feel. That's why it's called The Way I See It. Okay, I can speak the way I see it, but on this topic here, I have to be very careful because of my presidency with the Allegheny County Transit Council. And I'm not denying it, but both sides are wrong. Okay, the problem I'm having here is that why can't they sit down and work this out? What is the problem? Why is Port Authority taking this big stand? And you're talking about safety. Okay, let me explain something to you about safety. You're talking about safety, okay? All right. If you're talking about safety, then how safe is it that the riders are out that have to stand outside in the cold after midnight? Okay. Some people can't afford a winter coat. Some people can't afford to be out in the cold, and I wouldn't want to be out in the cold either. All right. Is that safe? Is that safe? No. And you don't know where you're standing at the bus stop. You don't know who's going to come up and rob you. You don't know who's going to steal. You don't know who's going to assault you. You don't know any of that stuff. Okay? This is a safety problem. This is a big problem. And Port Authority and the union have to sit down. They have to work this out, and they have to get this straightened out and getting it done fast because it's affecting the riders. It's bad enough the riders are waiting now because of a shortage in labor, because we have people that in this town that just don't want to work. I don't understand what's going on here. In the past, working for Port Authority was the job. Everybody wanted it. Everybody wanted to drive a bus for Port Authority. Why not? They train you to drive the bus. They help you get the CDL, benefits, nice job, nice pay. What's the problem? Why don't you want to work? You don't want to work because you don't think you have to. You don't want to work because you got people who keep on going around saying that it's okay not to work. All right. That's affecting the overall of our economy. That's why we're having high inflation problems. And we have people who don't want to work. And that's the main reason, because they can't get to work. Gas prices are high, bus fare in some places probably goes up, and a whole bunch of stuff that's contributing to this problem. And there's a lot of it out there, a lot of problem and a lot to do with this. But I want to give you guys something to think about today. Let's say you're in my position. Sometimes something happens to you and you're in my position in a wheelchair. Okay. And I know there are people out there who don't help people that are in wheelchairs, like that gentleman did, and like Andrew did, and I thank him for that. He's the vice president of the Transit Council, by the way. All right. I thank him for helping me out on Wednesday. But there are people who don't do that. But let me ask you this. Look at yourself in the mirror tonight and say to yourself, if I was handicapped, what would happen if no one helped you? I've had that happen to me. Okay? I've had that happen to where nobody has helped me. And my fiance, who does her best to load the wheelchair into the back of the Jeep, does everything she can to do it, but she can't do it by herself sometimes. And it takes a lot of work to load the wheelchair in there. And then most of the time people will help, but you have people that won't. All right. I told you about my life experience out at Golden Corral last month when I was there. Okay. Somebody parked in a handicap spot. It wasn't even a handicap car. They had no placards. They had nothing. And this elderly lady says to my fiance, well, don't you realize that it's Black History Month? And don't you realize I'm a senior citizen? Yeah, I understand that, but you still have to have a handicap placard or plate to park in a handicap spot. And then to park right next to my vehicle to where no one can get in on the passenger side and block up my ability or inability to get in and out of my vehicle. You see what I'm saying? So think about that tonight. What would happen if someone didn't help you? Okay? Because there are people out there who basically just don't even care about that. You could be like Andrew and comment tonight right here in the comments section here on YouTube. I want to thank those who are watching tonight. This is The Way I See It with myself, Ralph Williams. I'm here every Friday night, 7 p.m. We have lots of different topics that we talk about every Friday. Sometimes I have guests on. Next week, I'm Ross Nicotero, who's the president of the ATU, will be here next week at 7 o'clock p.m. All right, I got another comment here. She sounds entitled. It's talking about that lady that gave me a hard time about the Golden Corral mess. All right. You could be like Andrew, comment, say what you feel, talk about the show. Do you think I'm wrong with what I say, or do you think I'm right with what I say? Or am I hitting it on the head? Andrew responded. Some others can. All you got to do is put your comment in the comments section tonight here on The Way I See It. Now, Sunday, 9:30 is my other version of The Way I See It. Sunday night, it's 30 minutes. It's on live on Facebook, and you could catch it every Sunday night. Also on a rotating basis, you could catch it on PCTV channel 21, Comcast 47, Verizon, and on PCTV's Facebook page as well. Is The Way I See It. Now, I have 2 episodes airing right now. I have one where I interviewed Pastor Paul Roberts from Eastminster Presbyterian Church. He talked about COVID in the church and how other churches reacted, how their Eastminster reacted, and how he was one of the first 3 people in Allegheny County to get COVID. So you might want to check that out when you get an opportunity. It's playing on a rotating basis on PCTV channel 21, Comcast 47, Verizon, Allegheny County. If you live in the Western Pennsylvania area or anywhere else, you can catch it on their Facebook page as well, PCTV. Now, in April, coming up on April 5th, I will be live at 4 p.m. on PCTV's Facebook page with The Way I See It. I have Jay White. He's coming on. Jay White is a guy who is putting together a wrestling movie or a series about the independent wrestling circuit here in Pittsburgh. And I have to tell you this, that next Wednesday, March 30th, I am coming up with a I'm having a wrestling show I'll be on with. It starts at 4 o'clock, and I will be on with a wrestling show called Wrestle Chat. All right. And that's going to be new here on it's going to be a podcast here on YouTube. I'm working on getting someone from the local circuits, the IWCA and the Keystone Wrestling Association as well, or Keystone State Wrestling Association. I'm sorry. I'm getting them to come on, somebody come on as well from them, talk about local wrestling scene. We have a lot to talk about. WrestleMania is coming up, WWE, AEW, MLW, Impact, and the NWA. We can talk all that on this program. And then don't forget my national sports broadcast coming up on Thursday, this or next Thursday. This Thursday, we had to cancel it because of a death in the family with my co host, Mark Mancini. So it will be aired next Thursday. We'll be on for a whole hour. We're going to talk mainly about the NFL draft and the Pittsburgh Steelers. My guest will be Smoking Jim Frazier and Luther Dupree from Steel City Sports World. It's going to be the Four Horsemen talking sports on the Black and Gold Sports Podcast on Blog Talk Radio. 347-205-9631 is the number to call to be involved in that show on Thursday. Tonight, to be involved, just put your comments right here. We have, it sounds like she's the whole world owes her. Exactly. Exactly. And we get a lot of that these days. There are people that don't even, like, I got people that live in my building here who bring guests into the building here, and the guests walk around like they own the place, and that's not exactly the truth. Okay. You have a lot of that going on now. And you have a lot of people that think they're entitled to everything. And they think that because they're entitled, that they make those kind of comments and don't seem to care about what anyone else is. Like I'm handicapped and you don't care about the fact that I got to load my wheelchair into my Jeep, but you're not going to leave no room for me because you don't care. Yeah, and you just park anywhere you feel like it, and you just, but that's exactly what it is. All right, tonight we're going to talk about. Let's start off with Nestle chocolate. Those of you who are not aware, Nestle chocolate still sending products to Russia, still doing business over there. They're asking for a national boycott of Nestle products because of it. And as you know, Russia and Ukraine are involved in a big war. The Russians are starting to run out of weapons now. I said this, no one believed me, but a lot of people seem to, have short memories and forgot about the Russian-Afghanistan war, where back in the 80s when Russia tried to invade Afghanistan. They tried to take over Afghanistan. Afghanistan fought, took a while, but they ended up getting the Russians out of there, and the Russians lost. They couldn't take it. That's what's going to happen here in Ukraine. Ukrainians are starting to come around. When it comes to ground fighting, the Russians are terrible. The only reason the Russians win a war is their air support power and their nuclear weapons. They can't do anything else. Their ground attack is terrible. Yeah, that's right. Another comment here. The war is BS. That's right. They're running out of weapons. Serves them right. Okay. And a lot of people are criticizing Biden for us not getting involved more in this war. I'm kind of glad that we're really not into this war. But I have a question for you. Speaking of this, what's your thoughts on if and this is a question that I've been talking with other people about out on the street, people within my own friends and people in my church and things like this. And a lot of people have said to me the same sentiment that I'm saying right now. What would happen if Trump was still president with this war? This war probably wouldn't happen because Trump was, well, so what if he was in bed with Russia? Who cares? Russia wouldn't invade this country anyway if Trump was president because I think he had a dog collar on Putin. Okay. I was never a Trump fan. All right. But one thing I did admire about Trump was he didn't take no bull from the North Korean dictator. He didn't take no bull from Syria. He didn't take no bull from the Middle East. He didn't take no bull from Russia or China. Okay. All right. So, right now we're having issues with the fact that Russia is doing what they're doing to Ukraine, and Ukraine needs weapons. And well, the United States has provided them with Stinger missiles and things like that. But what I have a problem with is every night I hear Biden keeps on giving more and more money to Ukraine. We need it here. We need to fix our economy. We need to get people who don't want to work to work. There's jobs out there. This is probably inflation with jobs because they're out there. Nobody wants to work. You have people, fast food industry paying $15 an hour now in most places to work. All right, some are paying 12. You've never seen that in the fast food industry up here. Okay, in Vegas, they were paying $12 an hour in McDonald's back in the 90s. I can imagine what they're paying now. All right. Okay. Andrew says we don't really need to get involved right now, and I'm not convinced on Trump's ability to handle Putin. It's probably more Trump was a distraction to Putin. Still not ever going to be pro-Trump, though. Well, you know what? I'm not a Trump fan either. But one thing I will give him credit for, he handled the foreign leaders, and he handled them right. And I don't think that this would be going on right now. We need somebody to be a strong leader and put Putin in his place and say, hey, look, you can't do this. This can't go on. All right. But here's another thing I want to talk about tonight. When is our country going to really start doing our own thing? Okay. All right. Now, I found something interesting out today from a buddy of mine who lives on the West Coast, and he's lived in Seattle for years. He was here in Pittsburgh for a little while. His name's Vinny. And Vinny told me something very interesting today that I didn't really know. Remember Silicon Valley? Remember that in California? You want to know where all those jobs went? They went to Russia and China because we thought we could save money in this country. Instead of having the jobs there, we decided to ship all them types of jobs out there now in China and all these, and Ukraine and all these other countries. They make wheat in Ukraine. They have oil in Ukraine. They have this in Ukraine. They have that in Ukraine. But that affects the whole concept of our country. All right. And it continues to do this because we continue to give it to them. All right. President Biden sees that we are involved in a situation where we need to have we need to deal with the gas prices. The gas companies need to stop gouging the consumer. And I have yet to see our government step in and do anything about it. Why? Because it has something to do with this money. Okay. And it's going to continue to happen. All right. They're going to continue to kiss that booty because that booty happens to be the moneymaker for everybody. Okay. And that's the way it is right now. All right. China, Russia, Ukraine. Because of this war, I have to pay more for gas. I have to pay more for fuel, for food. I have to pay more for this. I have to pay more for that. I have to go without that. Okay. And that's what this is affecting now. And what does our government do? Well, we're just going to continue to send more money to Ukraine. Let's just continue to send it there. Let's just continue to help Ukraine. I don't have a problem with us giving some weapons to Ukraine and helping them out. I have a problem when we have a problem here and we're not taking care of it. Okay. We have a big problem. All right. We have too many people on unemployment that can work. That's our problem. States keep moving mandates back and dates of cutting off unemployment for people. All right. Okay. We had two people, a mother and a daughter, and I won't forget this because I thought it was kind of strange. Okay. That what has happened is that these women were upset because they had to wait 7 months to get at least part of their unemployment. 7 months. Okay. Well, that's unemployment's fault because they don't have enough people. That's our country's fault because nobody wants to work to process the orders. And that's unemployment's fault because uh, they should have recommended to these women, because they obviously couldn't think for themselves, that maybe you should go out and get a job. And it won't affect your unemployment. You could still work and collect unemployment. Okay? You could have still got the money that was owed to you because that was owed to you back then. But you didn't bother to look into that. No. They sat out for 7 months and then they're on the news crying and complaining they can't pay their rent. All right. All right. Plenty of comments coming up here. As much as politics talks about diverseness in our country, it's ironic considering the hierarchy is larger, the haves screwing the and lording over the have-nots. Yeah. All right. It's been like that for a long time. The rich have always screwed over the poor. All right. Somebody's got their hand in somebody's pocket that has made this what it is today. Of course, the government's not going to do anything about nothing. We live in a nothing society. I've been saying that for a while now. That's what this year's theme is on this program. Nothing. We live in a nothing society. Nobody cares about nothing. Nobody wants to care about anything. And nobody thinks they have to care about anything. So it's nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. All right? There's nothing wrong with caring about number one. But there's also something out there that's just a little more than that. All right? Our government doesn't seem to care about here that they gave billions, and I mean, I'm talking almost trillions of dollars to Ukraine to fight this war against Russia. All right. All right. Next. Somebody asked me this tonight. We're going to get into this just a little later, which we're going to. But right now, I want to talk about my continued boycott for Kennywood. All right. If you're not aware, on Sunday, on the way I see it, Sunday broadcast on Facebook, I had brought up the fact that we need to start boycotting Kennywood Park. Kennywood's this great amusement park that has all these great rides, and everybody is great this and great that. Kennywood's not great when it comes to handicapped people. It's handicap accessible, but you want to charge me $50 or $40 to get into your park, and I don't ride on rides. Okay? Yeah, I come to your park, I play games, I buy food, I watch some of your shows, I walk around the park. That's what I enjoy doing. Watching people ride the rides that I can't anymore because I'm handicapped. All right. It's hard for me to get on and off the rides, and it's difficult for me to get off of them. Okay. All right. Comment here. I heard Kennywood, and my immediate thoughts are F Kennywood and their current management. Yeah. Okay. But will you take a look at this? Okay. All right. Here's another cause that I'm getting involved in that I don't know if I should. Because every time I get involved in a cause, I don't get thanked for it. Okay. All right. During COVID, I spoke up about restaurants. I tried to help restaurants out during COVID. Not one restaurant bothered to say, "Hey, Ralph, thanks for sticking up for us. Thanks for supporting us. Thanks for putting it out there on the show." Nothing. Not one restaurant owner called me and thanked me, or even got on this program and thanked me. Okay. Conneaut Lake Park. All right. You asked me for help, and I gave it to you. Not one person from Conneaut Lake that supports the park ever thanked me on my Facebook show or on this show about the support that I gave them for the way Todd Joseph is running things up at Conneaut Lake Park. And now we got all these people now that are bad mouthing me, saying that let Todd Joseph do his thing. He owns the park. He can do whatever he wants. And now I got all his buddies and naysayer, all the people. Well, Conneaut was a family park and it didn't do anything, and on and on and on. I try to help there. I don't get an ounce of thanks from Conneaut people up there. Not one. No 1 ounce of thanks. Okay. and the restaurant's not 1 ounce of thanks. Now, I'm trying to boycott Kennywood, and I need some help. And the reason why I'm asking you for help to boycott Kennywood is because I don't appreciate what they do to handicapped people and senior citizens. People who want to go to the park, like myself and elderly people, have to go and pay $40, $50 and don't want to ride on or can't ride on rides or don't want to because they have a health problem or they don't feel safe riding on rides. Some people are in that category. Okay. But like to go play games, sit and watch things, uh, eat some amusement park food, buy some candy. They got real good candy there. They make fresh chocolate. You see what I'm saying? Things like that. Or maybe you like a corn amusement park corn dog, or you like a funnel cake. A few years back, street fairs weren't even around. Last year they kind of came back. This year, I'm hoping they all come back. I love street fairs. Okay. Take your business to the street fairs. At least you're supporting something. Kennywood's new management doesn't care. They don't care to care. They don't want to care. So it's nothing. I haven't got an ounce of support yet from anybody. And I've been broadcasting this now for 2 weeks about a boycott at Kennywood Park. And please don't tell me you don't know nothing about it. I've been broadcasting it all over the place. Okay. All right. If you're handicapped like myself, do you want to pay $50 to go into Kennywood and you don't ride on any rides? Do you feel that that's appropriate? Handicapped people, disabled people, we spend money just like everybody else. When are people going to understand that? When? Okay. When is that going to happen? Never, right? Because nobody cares to. All right. All right, here we go. Comment line burning up tonight, boy. Woo. The point of getting involved in a cause shouldn't be about doing it so for thanks. A cause should be about doing what's right for the greater good. Granted, it depends on the cause. I do it for the greater good. What? Yeah, I think boycotting Kennywood is what's the biggest thing to get anything response from? Hurt somebody's wallet. Okay. The restaurants were getting their wallets hurt, but none of them stepped up to do anything. None of them. Hardly any of them. There were a few, like Al's Cafe, Angelo's down there in Washington, PA. The eggs and that in Brentwood. But that's it. There was a few, but there wasn't that many. And the governor was sticking his hand in your pocket and taking from you. He was causing your business to go down the toilet. All right? Because of his mandates and his policies about COVID and everything. All right? Now, you know what? Yeah, I think some thanks should be given to me for at least trying to help out, at least trying for the cause. And I think this is a good cause, boycotting Kennywood. I think it's a good cause to boycott Conneaut Lake Park. There are other places you can go with your kids. Tipton, PA. Del Grosso's amusement park. Hershey Park. Okay? Just don't go to Kennywood this year. Or Sandcastle or none of them places. Because they don't want to give you any discounts for the handicap. They don't want to give us. I'm not saying I'm entitled to that discount. But think about it for a minute. Let's say you're handicapped. Again, something to think about. Let's say you're handicapped and you don't want to ride on rides at Kennywood. Why should I pay $50 for something I'm not going to do? I'm not going to ride any rides. I just want to go there and have fun and play some games. Andrew says he supports boycotting Kennywood. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate that. Can I get some more people to comment here about this? About Kennywood? Boycotting them. All right. I think our next topic is I think our country needs to start worrying about number one. And stop worrying about these other countries. Now we got problems in Africa. Apparently, they make some rubber or something for the tires, and it's made in Africa now. And they're having trouble getting it here because of the supplies or the shortage. Why can't we make our own rubber for our own tires? Do you understand what I'm saying here? All right, we're back. It's the same old story, the same old song and dance. All right. Pittsburgh Public Schools hires a firm to look for their superintendent. Now, here's a broke school district. Broke. They literally are in the hole. Okay. Their board can't find their way out of a paper bag to make bad decisions. I know. I've watched their board meetings on TV, and they make dumb decisions every time. All right. They have kids getting shot. They have kids getting assaulted. They have teachers getting assaulted. They have this, that, and whatever going on in these schools now. Okay. And Pittsburgh Public Schools so far behind the 8 ball that I don't think they have any idea what they need to do as a school district. Well, now they go and they hire this firm. Well, they're going to need to, because I don't think they're competent enough to bring in a superintendent. Look at the last guy they brought in. Look at that. What did he do? He misused funds. Went to Cuba when he wasn't supposed to. Went to Miami and did some and partied in Florida and posted it on Facebook like an idiot. Okay? This is what this guy did. All right? Now they have a guy who is their interim superintendent who knows his way around the school district, been with the school district for a long, long time, was the principal at Obama, and Obama was running like a well-oiled machine. And he's the interim superintendent, and all the former students that went to Obama that know this guy are trying to get the Pittsburgh Public Schools to hire him as their superintendent, and they go out and get a firm to do it. $50,000 to get a firm to go out and look for a superintendent. When you're broke, you screwed up the COVID computers thing. You screwed up you screwed up the discipline situation. You messed up all across the board. And now you go out and you spend $50,000 to have somebody look for a superintendent for you because you can't do it. I've seen what the school board looks like. They're afraid of their own shadows. Okay? They have nobody with any will to speak up. All right? Their disciplinary idea is to have more programs for students. That's their disciplinary program. Okay? This is just really, really, really terrible. Okay? Another comment, to be fair, I think the rubber thing is legitimately a problem. I don't believe our country has enough suitable environment to grow some of the plants involved in modern rubber making. I'm somewhat hazy on the details, though, but I've seen a documentary that covered it. Well, okay, maybe we don't. But what we do have is a lot of resources here, and we don't use them. All right? Now, one other thing, too, someone says to me, well, maybe I like the idea of bringing these Ukrainian people here to this country, and they're going to steal our jobs. Well, first of all, we don't want to work to begin with. This country's lazy. They don't want to work. Nobody wants to do anything. It's a disgrace that we have the jobs out there that we have and nobody wants to work. But then you're going to sit there and you're going to complain and you're going to whine and you're going to cry about how, okay, that these people are working these jobs. All I hear is complaining about how the Arabs are stealing our jobs, or about how the Mexicans are driving our trucks. Well, the Mexicans are driving the trucks because they can't get nobody to do them. Every trucking company around this country is looking for people, and they can't find them. It's so bad down in the shipping yards where the supply chain is that President Biden had to send in the National Guard to unload trucks and drive trucks That's how bad this has gotten. You're going to sit there and complain, but you're the one pushing a button on the Xbox, and you don't want to go out and get a job. And you know what's sad? I know some people like this. I really do. I know some people who do nothing but sit there and play Xbox, but don't go out and work. And they can, but they won't. Okay? But they won't. And somebody else has to go into the poorhouse because of that person. All right? Okay? And tonight, oh man, you know what? I got to get a laugh in tonight. You know, the healing power of laughter, it's all there. You know how it is. The healing power of laughter. I have to laugh because it's funny. It's hilarious. Another comment is yes, we do waste a lot and waste are under our resources. Yeah, we do that too. We do a lot of bad things in this country, but you know what? Laziness is the worst. This is the worst working society I've ever seen. Nobody wants to work. Nobody. And they keep blaming everybody except yourself because a lot of these people don't want to work. And I'm not talking about people who can't. I'm talking about the ones that can. And they're sitting there doing this, collecting unemployment. Doing this, collecting unemployment. They're doing this, collecting unemployment. Okay. In the meantime, the same people can't figure out why they can't get a pack of cigarettes at midnight because the store has to close because there's nobody there. Okay. They're complaining because they can't get a soda pop at a reasonable price. Okay. Do you see what I'm saying? It's all a ripple effect, but nobody understands that. All right. All right. Now we're going to talk about, oh, here we go. One more thing before I get into our main topic of the night. Okay. The one that everybody burned my phone up this week about, it wasn't just one person, it was a lot of people because they're frustrated with it. And I'm going to tell you what it is because I have never indulged in this topic until I got the word from people. And there are people commenting here tonight that are telling me exactly what it is. Talk about healthcare. All right. I got people burning my phone up, catching me on the street, knocking on my door. Hey, how about talking about healthcare? Well, that's what we're going to talk about next. Okay. But first, I want to talk about Jim Rogers. Okay. I brought this up many, many times on this program, on my Sunday night edition. I've blasted and blasted and blasted and blasted and blasted these protesters for Jim Rogers. Okay. One more time, folks. Okay. Before you waste your time about Jim Rogers. Okay. Number one, Jim Rogers was a thief. Number two, Jim Rogers was told numerous times to stop, put your hands in the air, stop, and be quiet. Number three, okay. And we're going to indulge in this thing here a minute because something puzzles me here. All right. Jim Rogers' case is over. The coroner or the medical examiner has already done his thing. The district attorney has pretty much done his thing. The Pittsburgh police and the mayor's office have done their thing. Everything is over. It's done. Okay. But no, you want more. You want policemen's names. You want this. You want that. Okay. And this is coming from the family of Jim Rogers. But here's the thing that got me. Where was the family of Jim Rogers when he was homeless? Because he was homeless. Okay? Where was the family of Jim Rogers to get him some help because he was homeless? Where was the family of Jim Rogers when he was stealing that bike? Now all of a sudden you perk out of nowhere. And now all of a sudden you want to make comments about the police and how they do their job. When you're the cause of the problem, because you weren't there for the man. Now all of a sudden you're here. Now all of a sudden, oh, well, he was such a great artist. Where was the family? Where was his friends? Where was all these people who were crying about Jim Rogers? Well, why didn't you help him with his art? Why didn't you help him get into a program to help with his art? Why didn't somebody help him get involved in housing or get some kind of housing for him? Where was his family? Where were you, everybody? Where was everybody?
Bring that ass back like a boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. Where were you? You were nowhere to be found. But you're going to sit here and criticize the district attorney who already did his job, the medical examiner who already did his job, okay? The police who already did what they had to do to discipline these officers, and 5 of them have been fired. 3 have been brought back, okay? Maybe you didn't appreciate the fact that the one female officer was brought back because she has issues with herself. She's been involved in this and she's been involved in that, and she's abused this guy and she's done this to this person and she's punched somebody in the mouth and she's done this and she's done that. The family of Jim Rogers. And that's the way I see it tonight with the family of Jim Rogers. Why didn't you help the man? Why didn't you help him with his art? Why didn't you help him get a home? Why didn't you put him up at your house? Maybe he wouldn't have stole that bike. Maybe. Okay, maybe he wouldn't have stole that bike.
Bring that ass back like.
Okay? You catch what I'm saying now? Maybe he would not have stolen that bicycle and brought it back. Then we wouldn't have these problems that happened with Jim Rogers. His death was accidental. Okay? The police had nothing to do with his death. That came from the medical examiner. Now, does somebody in Jim Rogers' family have a degree in, forensic medicine? Okay? I'm just tired of it. It's over. Case closed. It's done. All right? That's the way I see it tonight with that. Honestly, just as a country is lazy, this country or a certain portion love to beat dead horses and rehash things to death, especially on the internet. Absolutely. Okay? I'm getting a lot of good comments tonight. Thank you for these comments, because I'm getting a lot of them tonight. Okay? I want to thank Andrew for watching. And I want to thank all the other viewers out there that are watching and supporting the show. All right, now let's get into the main topic tonight, the one that's been burning my phone up this entire week. Okay? Healthcare. Let's talk about that tonight. I'm getting into a subject that maybe nobody cares about, is healthcare. Okay? I'm tired of people, the government healthcare, saying the president, it's Biden's care, it's Obamacare, it's Trump care. It's just, why don't you just say it's health care? Okay? All right? Okay, in Canada, they have a national health care system. But there's a problem with that. There's a lot of things, specialty stuff you can't get done. Like if you need heart surgery or something, the healthcare won't cover it. Healthcare is another business. It's another racket. It's another situation where we have that kind of a problem. All right? Everything is politics and money. That's all it is. And why do I say that tonight? Because it's the truth. Healthcare is politics, healthcare is money as well. They don't care about your health. They don't care about my health. They don't care about anybody's health. They just care about making money. We have a healthcare system in this town that says they care, and you know what? They're not. I've never had a problem with them personally. I've never had a problem. Okay, but I have a problem when you're supposed to be a nonprofit and you act like jerks. You treat your employees like they're trash. You overwork your employees. Then you won't let them have a union. Okay? I have problems with healthcare systems who don't pay their employees. Just recently, Armstrong Hospital didn't want to give their nurses a raise. We have COVID. We have the flu problems. We have the opioid problem. We have drug problems. People have all kinds of health issues. And we're worrying about skimping on a dollar on these employees who put their lives on the line to help people and to deal with people in the medical system. Healthcare is just not about insurance. It's about the people who run the system. The system is not there. The system's all about money. That's why it's a system. Okay? We have systems all across this great land of ours. We have systems all across the world. And you know what they do? They create another system for profit. They create another system so they can be lazy. They create another system for they can be nothing. And the healthcare system's the same way. Okay? You have insurance companies that keep changing up on things. Here, I'll give you an example. I take an insulin shot. My insulin's been changed 3 different times. 3 different types of names. Because they won't cover this one, they won't cover that one, and they won't cover that one. Now I'm on the 3rd different name of the insulin that I take. Because now the insurance will cover that. Every year there's new policies. Or every year they won't cover this, they won't cover that. Every year it's this, that, or whatever. There's no consistency in healthcare. There's no consistency in what the insurance companies cover. There's no consistency in anything. But there's consistency in profits. Do you catch what I'm saying? Healthcare is another dumpster fire. Our country should be ashamed and embarrassed. It's important and everyone wants to fight over it. That's exactly it. Okay? And it's not just the insurance companies, it's the facilities themselves. I'm not saying doctors shouldn't make money, they should. They go through a lot of schooling, a lot of things to get into being a doctor. It's not that easy. You have to go to college, you got to go to med school, you got to go do this, you got to go do that. It's a lot of work, a lot of money. So doctors should get paid. Nurses should get paid. I don't care if you wipe somebody's butt, you should get paid. All right? You got nursing homes, you got personal care facilities that are supposed to be healthcare centers, and they treat people like garbage. And what do? They take your money. It's all about money. The big, mighty, almighty dollar. With healthcare, that's all it's about. And nothing's ever going to change. They have a national healthcare system. Everybody is to get healthcare. But, oh, wait a minute. If I don't get healthcare, guess what happens to me?
Oh.
I have to pay a tax. I have to pay a penalty because I don't get healthcare. You know, there's some people, I know what you're saying. There are some people out there that don't want healthcare, can't afford it. Okay? I know what you're going to say. Well, Ralph, you're sitting there saying if they don't want healthcare, they shouldn't have it, but you're telling them that they should take a shot maybe they don't want to take a shot. Maybe. Everybody has their own personal differences and reasons for doing things. Now, let me ask you, a lot of you, this right now. We have about 5 minutes left, a little under that in the broadcast. All right. What's nice about this show is I say it the way I see it. Okay. I tell it like it the way I tell it. Okay. And I know a lot of you don't like it. And especially some of the media outlets here that don't like it. Because if you did, I would be on your media outlet. But I'm not. Because you don't like what I have to say. Okay. You don't like the fact that I agree with a certain person that the city park rangers should be allowed to carry weapons. That person got taken off of the radio airwaves for saying that. I'm not going to mention that person's name, but that person's doing real well right now. Okay. All right. And I sit there and I think about how many people have jumped ahead of me as far as getting a media job in this town. I don't care anymore. They don't want me, that's fine. I don't care. But when I go national, and I'm national now, I do sports, I do wrestling, okay? And Mark Mancini and I, we have a lot of comments. And guess what we're doing next? It's called The Way We See It. Yeah. It's going to go national. Yeah, it is. Okay? Because somebody values my talent of what I can do here. Why do you think some of the older people, some of the older talk show hosts who used to tell it like it is, no longer work on stations in this town? Why do you think corporate people, why do you think program directors, why do you think people all across this city that own any kind of broadcasting thing will not return my producer's phone calls? Because they don't want me here. We have to hear the same thing over and over and over again. Yeah, I spoke about the war in Ukraine tonight, but I didn't dedicate a whole show to it. I talked a little bit about the president tonight, but I didn't make a whole show of it. Okay. Yeah, I talked about the Port Authority situation. I didn't make a whole show of it. Okay. Tonight, everybody, that is the way I see it. Just a few announcements. Sunday, 9:30 p.m. on Facebook Live. Okay. I'm going to read this last comment here before I make this announcement. The guy that suddenly raised the cancer drugs price by 100% in a week. There's a ton of sickening things going on in the healthcare industry like others. Yes, there is. It's not only sickening, it's unacceptable, and it's disgusting. And once again, here we are. Nobody does anything about it. No. Because we're scared, we're lazy, and we're nothing. That's what this country is. It's been like that for the last 3 years. 20, 21, and now 22. Will it continue? I don't know. All right, just a few announcements before we go. Don't forget The Way I See It on a rotating basis on PCTV. Check their listings, channel 21 Comcast, 47 Verizon. Also, don't forget we're here every Friday night, 7 p.m. for The Way I See It. And don't forget The Way I See It, 9:30 Sunday night on Facebook Live. And I will see you then for The Way I See It. And I'll see you next week here on YouTube. My guest, Ross Nicotero, ATU president of Local 85 of the Amalgamated Transit. We will talk about this Port Authority situation in depth. We'll get his opinion on it. I was working on getting a couple people on here tonight, or a few, to try to talk about it, but I was unable to. I'm Ralph Williams from Studio 808 in Allentown. I say good night and be safe.